We've seen how the regular troops, sent by President Thiers to recover the cannon of Montmartre, rebelled, joined the Guard, or just went home. Reading the omens, Thiers himself had left Paris, not on a donkey, but in a coach, waiting at a secret exit from the City Hall of Paris. He ordered loyal soldiers and all officials to follow him to Versailles. Without administrators, surely a city of 2 million would not be able to survive for long. As he departed, thousands upon thousands of ordinary working people were making their way to the heavily defended nerve centre of Paris. And this, according to the wrapper of a socialist book, is what followed. Instant mythology. In fact, the defenders simply walked away. State power was dissolving. Another artist sketched, I think on the spot, because the human detail rings so true. Guards are shown wandering at an ornate staircase, gathering to talk, with the cantiniere joining in, and sleeping. They're waiting for their own elected Central Committee, suddenly become the only effective authority in Paris, to turn up. But a historian says the committee had no plan ready. They'd never had the slightest idea they might be called on to form a government. This scrappy image is the only one that exists of a meeting. Edwin Child, an English jeweller's apprentice serving in the Guard, like many others, simplified history by explaining the rise of the Commune as a conspiracy of the committee. In fact, the committee was trying hard to follow rapidly moving, spontaneous events. As we saw earlier, one immediate reaction was to build barricades. I thought at first these pictures were of defences put up during the siege. Not a bit of it. They started to be raised in the poor quarters of Paris spontaneously as soon as the cannon was saved. They were against a possible attack by troops still loyal to Thiers. The people didn't wait for orders from any central committee. Maxime Ducamp, a right-wing historian, sneered, "The barricades became what painters call portrait accessories. The guards climbed up and took menacing postures while someone went to get the local photographer. But the images tell us much more than that. First, we see that their sighting was traditional, harking back to earlier risings. It ignored the new boulevards, which gave a clear field of fire to modern artillery. The memory of the working class is long, and in this case was unhelpful. And then, but let's look at one particular barricade. Forget the portrait accessory, the bugler. In the front row, there's too little half-tone information for proper enlargement, but see a rather scruffy guard. His hands are held by a child. Boy? Girl? Hard to tell. Now, the commanding officer, he may be standing on the right there, hasn't objected. Yet the National Guard was a military force, with rules like the army. How many times have we seen a soldier's little child or grandchild in a posed photo of the company? Yes, but this officer may have been elected by his men. Remember? He may have lived in the same house as the guard and child. I repeat words that carry a vast historical significance. In the working-class quarters, the distinction between guard and people had become blurred, and sometimes non-existent. The next day, at last, the Central Committee met and made a decision. Quotes, "Our mandate has expired. Prepare to hold your communal elections." So, Paris would become a self-governing commune at last. Tonight, election rallies. lists of candidates posted up. Voting on the 26th of March. On the Sunday before, the Reverend Gibson, minister of the Methodist Church in Paris, wrote in his diary, as if surprised, "All the population seems up to enjoyment. The Butte Montmartre is en fête. Men, women and children mount the hilly streets, and they all appear joyous." The pictures by John Layton, whom we've met and will meet again. No cannon, but a roundabout. The elections, to use a cant phrase, were free and fair. What were their results? And how did the elected deal with a great city whose infrastructure had been deliberately undermined?